why it's better to be single. Let's start with an image. It's Sunday morning. The sunlight filters through your window and the world outside is still. No rush, no compromises. You make coffee exactly how you like it. Strong, slow brewed, maybe with that cinnamon touch nobody else ever quite understands. No one interrupts your thoughts. There's no need to coordinate plans, no quiet arguments about where to go or what to do. It's just you, your cup, and a day wide open with possibility. Many people would see this scene and call it lonely. I see it differently. I see sovereignty. I see the luxury of complete ownership over your time, energy, and attention. And here's the twist. What society often paints as emptiness might be one of the most empowering states you can experience. Today, we're diving deep into why being single isn't just okay. It can be a life phase that shapes you into your most resilient, self-aware, and fulfilled self. And we'll use the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, not as dusty philosophy, but as a living, breathing guide to navigating your own company. 1. The quiet power of solitude. I want to start by acknowledging something uncomfortable. Most people avoid silence. We drown it out with music, podcasts, endless scrolling, and constant conversation. Why? Because silence leaves us alone with our own thoughts, and that can be confronting. But here's the Stoic shift. Solitude is not an absence, it's a space. And in that space, you can finally hear your own voice. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In solitude, you stop performing for the crowd. You allow yourself to learn, reflect, and even make mistakes without judgment. When you're single, solitude stops being something you have to carve out from the chaos. It's woven into your daily life. And if you lean into it, if you stop fearing it, you find it's the most fertile ground for self-growth you'll ever stand on. 2. Being your own anchor. One of the most underrated benefits of singlehood is that you learn to be your own emotional anchor. Relationships can be wonderful, but they also subtly outsource parts of our stability. If a partner is unhappy, you may feel unsettled. If they're busy, you might feel neglected. When you're single, you can't rely on that constant external feedback. You have to check in with yourself. Often, you learn to ask, what do I need today? What can I give myself? This is pure Stoic training. Marcus Aurelius wrote in Meditations, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Singlehood lets you build that retreat brick by brick without depending on anyone else to maintain it. 3. The freedom to engage with the world on your terms. A lot of people think being single means less connection. That's not true. It just means different connection. Without a partner, you're not anchored to a single social circle or set routine. You can wander into a poetry night, join a hiking group, take a last-minute weekend trip with friends, or strike up conversations with strangers. From a Stoic standpoint, this is living out cosmopolitanism, the idea that we are all citizens of the world, connected by our shared humanity. Every person you meet becomes a teacher, every conversation a lesson. I've found that singles often have more varied, more surprising social experiences. You're not always sitting at the same dinner table with the same people. Your worldview stretches, and that's a gift. 4. Time as the ultimate asset. Here's something I wish I had understood earlier. Time is not just something we spend, it's something we become. When you're single, your time isn't automatically claimed by another person's needs. You control the rhythm of your mornings, the projects you start, the skills you build, and the hobbies you dive into. This is where Stoic discipline meets modern reality. The Stoics were obsessed with using time wisely because they knew it was the only truly non-renewable resource. Seneca famously wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Being single hands you a rare opportunity, the ability to experiment with your time freely. You can find what lights you up and you can pursue it without compromise. 5. Financial autonomy. Aligning money with values. Let's talk about money, because Stoicism doesn't ignore the practical. Relationships can be financially enriching if managed well, but they also come with shared expenses, gifts, celebrations, and sometimes the subtle pressure to spend in ways that don't align with your priorities. When you're single, every dollar is yours to allocate. This doesn't mean hoarding, it means directing resources toward what genuinely matters to you. That could be learning a new skill, saving for a dream trip, funding a creative project, or simply building a safety net that gives you peace of mind. The Stoic view? Wealth is not in having many possessions, it's in needing little and spending on what aligns with virtue and purpose. 6. Redefining love, beyond romance. One of the most liberating realizations I've had is this: love is not synonymous with romance. Being single gives you the space to fall deeply in love, with your own growth, with friendships, with the community around you. It allows you to invest in people without the silent expectation that they fill every emotional role in your life. Platonic love, loyal, generous, and free from romantic tension, is incredibly nourishing. And giving back to your community, whether through volunteering or small acts of kindness, connects you to a sense of shared humanity. This is love too. The Stoics would remind us, love is best when it is an action, a choice to care and contribute, not just a feeling we wait to receive. 7. Dispelling the completion myth. Here's where I get a bit direct. The idea that you're incomplete until you find the one is outdated and unhelpful. Stoic philosophy teaches that happiness comes from living in harmony with your values, not from attaching to someone else's presence. Relationships can enrich life, but they're not life's meaning. When you're single, you can fully embrace this truth. You learn that your joy, your progress, and your peace are yours to cultivate. And when you do eventually enter a relationship, you do so from a place of abundance, not need. 8. Self-sufficiency as a life skill. Self-sufficiency is not isolation. It's knowing you can navigate life's storms without clinging to someone else's mast. When you cultivate this during singlehood, financially, emotionally, intellectually, you're training resilience. The Stoics prized resilience not because it made life easier, but because it made the person stronger. In my experience, the more self-sufficient you are, the more generous you can be in relationships. You're not draining others for validation. You're adding to their lives from a place of wholeness. 9. Freedom, the sweetest responsibility. Freedom in singlehood is not just the absence of romantic obligations, it's the abundance of possibility. You decide where to live, how to spend your evenings, which risks to take, and which dreams to chase. You can pivot careers, change cities, or travel on a whim without lengthy negotiations. But here's the Stoic caution: freedom without discipline collapses into chaos. The philosopher Musonius Rufus reminded his students that liberty means little if it's spent chasing trivial pleasures. True freedom is having the ability to choose and the wisdom to choose well. When you're single, you have the rare opportunity to practice this every day. Every choice, whether it's what you eat for breakfast or whether you move across the country, becomes a training ground for discernment. And over time, you realize that the responsibility for your life isn't heavy, it's exhilarating. 10. Expanding your social world with purpose. One of the hidden benefits of being single is the way it reshapes your social map. Without the gravitational pull of a partner circle, you get to design your own. You can spend time with people who inspire you, challenge your assumptions, or introduce you to worlds you've never explored. You can cross cultural, professional, and generational lines more freely. Stoicism views this as an exercise in oikeiosis, the gradual expansion of our sense of belonging, first to our family, then to friends, then to all humanity. The more you interact intentionally, the more you practice virtues like empathy, patience, and humility. And the best part? You're not limited by a need for approval from one person. You can let your social life be as wide and varied as your curiosity. 11. Knowing yourself through reflection. Relationships often act like mirrors, but so does solitude. When you're single, your life isn't automatically shaped by another person's habits, dreams, or anxieties. That means you can see your own patterns more clearly: how you handle frustration, how you celebrate wins, what triggers your joy or irritation. And if you take the Stoic approach, you don't just notice, you examine. At the end of the day, Marcus Aurelius would ask himself, what did I do well? What could I improve? You can adopt the same practice. It's self-coaching, but rooted in honesty rather than judgment. Over time, this deepens your self-knowledge and sharpens your ability to live in alignment with your values. 12. Health as a form of self-respect. When you're single, you're not syncing your diet or exercise routines with someone else's. You have full control over how you care for your body, which the Stoics saw as a sacred responsibility. Self-discipline in health isn't vanity, it's respect for the vessel that carries you through life. Seneca wrote that while the body is not the highest good, it is necessary for pursuing the highest goods. A healthy body supports a sharp mind, and a sharp mind is essential for living virtuously. This could mean creating a morning workout you love, learning to cook nourishing meals, or simply prioritizing sleep. And because you're not negotiating with another person's schedule, you can build routines that truly serve you. 13. The courage to learn new skills. One of my favorite advantages of singlehood is the freedom to be a beginner. Over and over again, you can pick up a guitar, enroll in a foreign language course, try ceramics, or learn coding without worrying about whether your partner shares the interest. You can fail without embarrassment and succeed without compromise. The Stoics saw every challenge as an opportunity to practice virtue. Learning something new builds patience, humility, and perseverance. You're reminded that mastery is a process and that discomfort is the seed of growth. And here's the unexpected bonus. Each skill you acquire becomes part of your identity, a new way to express yourself, a new connection point with the world. The joy of spontaneity. When you're single, you can say yes to life faster. A friend calls at 10 a.m. with a road trip idea, you can pack and go. A workshop catches your eye the night before, you can register without hesitation. Spontaneity doesn't mean recklessness, it means responsiveness. The Stoic idea of living in accordance with nature includes being adaptable, open to change, and responsive to opportunity. In my own single years, I've noticed that the most memorable moments often come from these unscripted choices. They're the ones that expand your sense of what's possible. 15. Resilience through self-reliance. Life will test you, relationship or not, but singlehood is a kind of resilience boot camp. When something goes wrong, there's no automatic emotional first responder. You learn to sit with discomfort, problem solve, and reach out to friends when you truly need support. You stop expecting someone else to fix your bad days. This doesn't make you cold, it makes you strong. It's the Stoic ideal of being unshaken, not because life is easy, but because you've trained for its storms. Contributing beyond yourself, with more time, emotional bandwidth, and sometimes financial flexibility, singlehood offers space to give back. You can volunteer, mentor, join community projects, or simply be present for people who need a friend. The Stoics believed we exist not just for ourselves, but for the common good. Epictetus put it plainly, "What is the fruit of a good life? A good character and acts for the common good." Giving your energy to others doesn't just help them, it expands your own sense of purpose and belonging. 17. The bigger picture, crafting a life of your own design. At its core, being single is a creative act. You are designing your life's architecture without compromise. This is not about avoiding relationships forever. It's about building such a strong, rich foundation that if and when you do invite someone in, it's an addition to an already beautiful structure. Stoicism teaches us that the good life is about virtue, wisdom, courage, and justice. Singlehood, if embraced intentionally, is the perfect workshop for cultivating all four. 18. Reframing singlehood. So here's the shift I want you to carry. Being single is not a waiting room. It's not the time you fill until your real life begins with a partner. It is your real life, full, expansive, and worthy. If you let it, singlehood can make you more self-aware, more adaptable, more financially free, more socially connected, and more resilient than you've ever been. It can teach you to love without clinging, to give without expecting, and to live without apology. And one day, if you choose to share your life, you'll do it not from emptiness, but from the wealth of everything you've become on your own. If this perspective resonates with you, don't just nod, live it. Stop treating your single years like a placeholder. See them as the prime season to cultivate the Stoic virtues that make life meaningful. And if this conversation opened a door in your thinking, share it with someone who might be quietly battling the idea that single equals less. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is remind someone that they are already whole.